We're back, Les Naiman Show, 970 WGTK, and I just want to quickly announce that the next three people that call the show and on air will get a pair of Abbey Road tickets. So please call 571-2428, and we'll get you on the air real quick. And but right now, I want to introduce my two esteemed guests who I really enjoy having on the show, Commander Charles Kerchner and his attorney, Mario Apuzzo, giving us a report on their lawsuit against Obama and Congress and Dick Cheney. How are you guys?
How are you, Les? Good evening to you and to your listeners. Mario Apuzzo.
Well, great to hear from you, Mario. Charles, are you there?
Yes, I am.
All right.
Glad to be back with you. Ready for action.
Well,
I full speed ahead.
I'm glad you're here tonight. I appreciate the information you send me on a regular basis, and keep up the fight. I think from what I see, the pressure is starting to build on the Obama administration and President Obama himself, to the point where he was last night. If you saw his performance at the writers' ball, or whatever you want to call it, the roast, and where he was making pretty much blatantly, arrogantly making fun of that his ratings were still high in his home country. Obviously, it's not this country.
You mean the narcissist in chief?
Oh my God, he's just amazing. It's just my wife, every time we see him, we have to walk out of the room sometimes. So tell us what's going on with the case. What's going on with the case?
I'll give you a rundown on that, Les. The case right now is filed in the federal court in the Third Circuit Court of Appeals. That's New Jersey, Pennsylvania, Delaware, the Virgin Islands. That's the basic area that's involved. It's in the second tier, which means it's in the appellate court. It's scheduled for a tentative oral argument on June 29th, 2010. Tentative because we don't know whether that day will actually still stay, and or whether the court will grant oral argument. Now, it's an important moment, because if the court does grant oral argument, then we're going to actually be in an open courtroom debating the question of Obama's citizenship. Now, again, the lawsuit, the Kerchner lawsuit, has two parts to it. One is the question of where he was born. Has he shown himself to be born in Hawaii? Okay, that's one question. A bigger question, which is a constitutional issue, is whether or not he is a natural-born citizen under Article 2, Section 1, Clause 5 of the Constitution. And that particular clause has a special meaning, which goes back to the Founding Fathers, and it's never been changed in over 200 years of our history. It's still a child born in the country of two citizen parents. There are numerous Supreme Court cases that support that. We have evidence from the founding era. We have founders who support that. Emir de Vattel, who was a political philosopher during the founding era, he provided the definition of it in his The Law of Nations. We have a lot of information on that. So this lawsuit will be going forward. It is going forward. Depending on what happens in the Third Circuit, then we will be going to the U.S. Supreme Court to see if the Supreme Court will take the case. And many people think that Supreme Court has already decided this case, but it has not. The petitions or actions that were brought there in the past basically were to stay the election. That's a very, very specific request. The court felt that there wasn't enough to stay in election. But now that Obama is the president, and our lawsuit was filed before he was sworn in on January the 20th, 2009 at 2:50 a.m., so we have a particular unique standing. It's a whole different situation now. The court is not being asked to stay the election. The court will be asked to look at this particular eligibility problem. So that's where it is in a nutshell.
Charles,
the reason
go ahead.
I wanted to point out that about staying the election, that is called political issue. Courts don't want to get involved in political issues while they're ongoing. So I filed after the political process was done, which was a joint session of Congress, and before he was sworn in. So all the political issue had been put behind us, and now it was up to Obama to be proven that before he could take the oath that he was eligible, and he didn't.
What do you think of Justice Thomas's remarks about a month ago saying concerning the situation that they just don't go there?
I think that points out that they're aware of that, but I don't want to talk about the justices of the Supreme Court.
I understand.
Because I'm going to be before them.
I understand. Shouldn't have asked you that question. But the thing is I just know that it seems more and more there's more pressure in Hawaii. I've been reading that there's been a lot of pressure. The Hawaiian legislature is trying to push through a bill to stop people requesting information on Obama. Is that true?
Yes, lest everybody knows he's not eligible. They're all just in CYA mode because they're all in big trouble because they allowed this to happen. The 2008 election was a fraud. There were 3 ineligible candidates being offered by 3 parties. The RNC, DNC, and the Socialist Party even put up a guy with a green card, wasn't even a citizen. The whole 2000 election was a complete fraud, and my hopes is that we can get Obama out by the end of the year and then call for new elections in 90 days. And anybody involved, Pelosi, Clinton, and everybody that was involved in the cover-up, boom, they're all out. Biden, they all knew it. They're all corrupt. Start over.
Well, I think many Republicans have also been corrupt.
They allowed McCain, the Republican Party led by McCain, allowed this to happen because McCain had an eligibility issue himself. Because McCain, the so-called birther movement was started by the Democrats going after McCain in the late winter and spring of 2008. People forget that. The Democrats started the accusations of provide your birth certificate to McCain.
Yeah, well,
now they want to ridicule us because we want to see Obama's.
Well, we know that the Democrats only think that rules only apply to Republicans and independents, but not to them. Listen, we got a caller. I got to take a call. Faye, good evening. How are you? You're on the Les Naiman Show.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much. I'm sitting here and eating some Kentucky Fried Chicken.
Well, that's good.
Yes, sir. And what do you want me to tell you?
You don't have to tell me anything. I thought if you had something to say, if you had something to ask, question.
Well,
if not,
I agree with. I am against Obama's agenda. He's destroying America. Muammar Gaddafi, the dictator of Libya, when he was here, he said, "You smart American, you elect him president, keep him forever."